Thank you Squarespace for sponsoring today's video. What is going on, guys? Today I'm going to break down the 5 most common mistakes that I see people making with their GoPros. These are sweet little cameras, really powerful little cameras, and with just a few little tweaks to what you're currently doing, get some really impressive footage out of them. Watch the video today and let me know if you are guilty of any of these 5 things. I want to hear if you've made these mistakes, and then I want to hear what your footage looks like after you fixed them. To talk through these 5 things though, we're going to the beach. All right, the number one thing that I see most people getting wrong with their GoPros is they're shooting in poor lighting conditions. And the 2 big ones that I see are, one, backlit, which is like this, and the other one is low light conditions. These cameras have really small sensors. They're action cameras. They're designed to be small. Now with one of my big cameras, it looks pretty cool when I shoot backlit and I get this really cool cinematic vibe. But on these cameras, shooting backlit, it doesn't look good at all. For those of you that don't know, backlit means the sun is behind your subject and the camera's over there. So camera, subject, sun, and then front lit is where the sun is behind the camera, then the camera, and then your subject. So GoPros do really well shooting front lit. Now, if you want to make a front lit image look a little bit more dynamic, kind of line the sun up behind you with your subject, and then move off angle maybe 30 degrees, that's about 30 degrees, you start to get some of that shadow in there. It looks a little bit more dynamic, but you still have really nice blue skies. You're not getting that weird silhouettiness. And then if you go 45 degrees off angle, you're even getting a little bit more of that, a little bit more dynamic. But again, anywhere over here just doesn't look good. And then of course the other way that GoPros just really, I can't see anything now. The other way that GoPros just don't look good is low light. This is fairly low light in here. This isn't even like crazy dark, but you can see it just doesn't look great. I'm not saying that GoPros can't do low light. It's just that you need to have realistic expectations that when you shoot them in low light, it's not gonna look wonderful. I will say though, that doesn't look terrible on the screen. Okay, number 2 thing that I see people getting wrong a lot with GoPros is they are treating their small little camera like a small little camera. And you shouldn't, because when you think of what like a cinematic shot is, those are done with really big, really heavy cameras that are difficult to move around quickly. So they're heavy and they're slow, whereas people treat these cameras like they're light and they're fast, and that's what the footage looks like. It's just really jerky, and it's really like we're over here and then we're turning quickly and we're kind of snapping the camera around too quickly. It just doesn't look any good at all. And now the alternative to that is to imagine that this little tiny action camera is a large camera. Treat it like a big camera. Instead of just kind of whipping it around and getting shots, kind of hold it like this, like kind of cup it and float the camera. Imagine that it's big, heavy, and slow. For a camera movement like this, I'm gonna hold the camera really high up here. Most of my grip is gonna be up here. And I'm gonna kind of just try to float the camera as if it's like a big cinema camera. Like imagine that your little GoPro is a big camera, and you'll get better shots. Number 3 is a good one, and it kind of goes with number 2, but first let me tell you guys about today's sponsor, Squarespace. I've been using Squarespace as my professional photography website for 9 years, and it's been amazing. With the best part being that I set up my website, I built my website, it was super easy with their drag and drop system, but I've also been able to keep up my website. I don't have to go to a web designer, I don't have to call someone and say, hey man, can you switch this image out, or can you switch that sentence because it was wrong? I have lots of friends that are doing photography or videography on their Squarespace website, but I also have a friend that is doing jewelry. She sells jewelry through a Squarespace website, and I have neighbors that just set up a physical therapy business through Squarespace. They do all their booking through Squarespace's tools. So no matter what business or side project you've been working on that you've been trying to get off the ground, that you want a good online presence for, Squarespace can help you guys. Go to squarespace.com, sign up for a totally free trial, build out your site during that free trial, and when you're ready to go live, use code Manning for 10% off at checkout. Okay, number 3 is you are not holding your shots long enough. A lot of people when shooting with a GoPro, again, are kind of thinking of it more just like, hey, I'm just shooting this and now I'm shooting that and now I'm shooting that. And then you start to try to edit that into a video and you realize that your clips of like what your shot was, they're too short. I say this a lot in drones. Whenever I talk about drones, I always say you're gonna choose a line and you're gonna get on that line and you need to stay on it for a minimum of 5 seconds. And that's before turning or kind of doing anything else to that shot. So with my GoPro here, if I was shooting like this, I would kind of get a shot of the camera like this. Maybe I'm walking forward. I'm gonna go 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4, 1,000, 5 seconds. I have a 5-second clip where the camera didn't go ding, 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 or make any sort of other kind of weird movement. So everything that you're doing, maybe you're doing like a slide shot, you wanna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just like, again, just like you would with a big camera. I'm really just now realizing that all 5 of these tips kind of just mean treating this like that. By that, it's an A7S III with like a big lens and a microphone and all that jazz. Held those shots for 5 seconds each, and I know that I'll have something to work with later. Good tip. Okay, number 4 thing that I see people doing wrong with their GoPro all the time is that they have their settings wrong. I made an entire video on GoPro settings. Click up there or go down to the description after this video and go watch that video. But there's a few like little things that you can do to your GoPro, to the settings, to just dial it in a little bit and it's gonna look a lot better. Two quick ones is EV comp set to -0.5. When it's at 0, the GoPro just tends to overexpose things that are white like this. The highlight will go totally blown out, which means it goes pure white. And once it goes pure white in post, you can't dial that back in. But if you're a little dark and something's in the shadow, you can in post bring up that shadow. Now you might get some noise in that shadow, but like I said in the settings video, a little noise in the shadows is much better than a blown out highlight. Always protect your highlights. And then there's other things in that video, like using natural color mode over vibrant mode, just because the blue skies or skin tones look pretty wonky on vibrant mode, and they look really good in natural mode. But again, go down to the description, watch that video after this one. Number 4 is people are using the wrong GoPro settings. And number 5 is that people do not put their GoPro in weird enough places. Like they're not getting unique angles with their tiny little camera. The whole point of having a camera like this is that I can put this camera in places that I would never put this camera. Right now, you guys are on a suction cup mount on an arm. There's a snap mount is on there, and yeah, I can get a really cool shot. I can even drive down the road with my camera in a cool place like this, that again, I would never put this camera, and I just don't think people are using their GoPros that way enough. Okay, those are the 5 things that I see most commonly people are doing wrong with their GoPro. Are you guilty of any of those 5 things? If you are, like this video and comment below. Let me know what you're guilty of. I hope this helps you guys. I hope that this keeps you from making any of those 5 mistakes. You get better footage out of your GoPro because they are pretty sweet little cameras. And again, just a few little things and you'll get much better footage. All right, I'll see you soon. What's going on in here? What are you doing? What are you doing? I'm gonna get you. Hi, Zoe. Hi, sweetheart. Ah, what is? Ow! What was that? I whacked my head on the thing. Oh, shucks.